Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Another week, another teaser image from Toyota. Yes, we have new interior photos for the 2022 Toyota Tundra. We have one that they just released today. So let's go ahead and talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and flash back a little bit too, talk about the exterior a little bit, and give you all the details I have currently on this 2022 Toyota Tundra. Let's go ahead and get to the screen. Okay, so this information is on Toyota.com, which you can sign up for updates, or you can find a media site. I found a media site this morning. This is the interior photo they put out of the new Tundra, right? This is what they, looks like still a graphical image. It's not a real pickup. It's kind of weird the way the photo is taken, but we can see the big screen here. We can see we have, they say the time, we can LTE, so cell phone connected. We have a map, we have food, drink, shopping, so we're showing a map version. We have the screen kind of popping out, so we know we're going to have a bigger screen in this truck than we do currently. We kind of can see over the hood. You can see this is the white TRD Pro. We know that because of the black on the hood. And I'll show you the exterior photo here in a minute. The mirror is all, it's not, they blanked it out completely, but I'm hoping for a rear view camera here would be great in that mirror. Like what everybody else is doing in that segment. Looks like we have a traction control or some sort of off button there. Maybe a crash alert kind of button there, and then we have the visor. So we don't really have a whole lot more to show. This is, again, more teaser images from Toyota on this truck. I don't see anything else on this that stands out to me. The steering wheel, we can see the texture of it. Pretty standard steering wheel. But this is the truck they're looking at, was this one here. This is the new version of TRD Pro. This came out over the weekend, and it created quite a few controversies and quite a few comments and quite a few things going on with this truck. It's pretty interesting. I've looked at it a few times now. I've actually seen this in person. Not this one. I've seen the red one that was reddish orange that came out the day before this, where the dealer leaked photos. And I can tell you, this is much larger than the current TRD Pro. It's a bigger truck, and it's pretty interesting. What you're going to look at a few moments on this, take a few seconds on this exterior, is you can see the Tundra is kind of spelled out here along the bottom of the grille. And this is like some sort of, I don't know what it is, sort of plastic kind of composite together. It really has an interesting texture, and it's on the wheel well liners too. It's got an interesting texture. It almost looks like a little camouflage coloring to it, and it's pretty cool. I'm not sure what they're calling it, but that's what that's going to look like. We have the rock rail that's kind of tied in. Then we have these lights. This just, to me, screams blown up Tacoma. That's the look I get from it. And it makes sense. I mean, that's what they're going to go for throughout the lineup. They're going to have things match. Tacoma's going to match. 4Runner's going to match. That's just, new Sequoia. When they get new Sequoia, eventually that's probably going to match. We're probably going to get a similar look throughout other trucks. We have the LED light bar that's built into that below the Toyota sign there as far as lettering. So we have Toyota and Tundra both on the front, which is kind of interesting. I haven't seen that too much in any other manufacturers. We have the clearance lights, which typically are meant for vehicles over 80 inches. In this case, this vehicle, I don't think is over 80 inches. I think it's just more of a styling situation there. They have these little teardrop headlights, and then we have the TRD Pro on the side. And then we have the, they always could have off-road. They want to call these off-road aggressive tires. They're really kind of an interesting mix of on-road and off-road. They're not quite as knobby as some people think it should be. And then the angle of this makes it look funky. I mean, the windshield is proportionate. In this photo, the way the angle of the photo is, the front end is just like, wow, big in your face. But really, when you see it in person, the proportion's more mirror. And then we know on the back with the dealer photos that TRD Pro is spelled out on tailgate because you don't see it on the side panel back here. And that's because the TRD Pro is like in the back of the tailgate instead of on the side. I don't like that very much. I would much prefer it on the side, but you got to change things up, got to keep things going a little bit differently. I wanted to switch back to the interior real fast, talk about one more thing. So a lot of times people talk about these new interiors and they're trying to make sense of what they are. I always look at what else is in the Toyota lineup to get an idea of what the interior is going to look like. So if I see this kind of big screen, it kind of looks like it's sitting out off of the dash a little bit. And so I just kind of look at what else is in the lineup. And so we can see the Toyota Highlander has the same idea. The screen is kind of sitting out away from the dash a little bit. And, Toyota is like everybody else. All the designers are like everybody else. They want everything to kind of blend together throughout the lineup. So if you look at like the interior of the Highlander and look at the interior of like the RAV4, I'll pull one of these up, but you can kind of see that same interior idea. It's kind of where they took the iPad and they stuck it to the dash. It's not blended in the dash. It sits above the dash a little bit. There's a lot of controversy. Some people like that. Some people don't like that. Some people feel like it's an afterthought. Some people feel like they could have blended in like Ram has done with their screen that's kind of blended in. But the problem that you run into with that is it's all about eyes on the road. And so if the screen is down lower and built into the center console or the center stack a little bit differently, you do tend to take your eyes off the wheel to press buttons and get to that stuff. Whereas if you put the screen up higher and make it stand out a little bit like this, it's not so much of a right to left, and you're going to see that where it stands out even more. And they did that. Let me pull this up. The Lexus 21 Lexus NX that Jill and I just did a video on. Let's see if I have an image of this. I think this is a new one. Maybe let's go 2022. Sorry, hang with me just a second. Yeah, so this is that dash for that Lexus NX, and it's going to have that new software they're putting in it that we're going to see throughout, I think, Toyota's lineup. You're going to see this new software they're using, and it's really, if I check the video out, I'll link to that video above, but it's really impressive of as far as the way the software works and the way you're able to use the maps. Maps are really intuitive, it's faster, the graphics look better, but you can see how this screen is set up a little bit, and it's actually tilted a little bit towards the driver. So, and that idea there is that it's less distraction for the driver, you know, keeping your eyes off the wheel as you're driving. And here we go. This is a little better image. And so, I mean, this has been revealed. This is a 2022 Lexus NX. But you can see that how that screen goes like this, and it stands out a little bit. And so, you know, it's going to be one of those ideas. It's going to be one of these three ideas. It'll be in that. It's going to be the new software, I'd imagine, this new Lexus software. I'm forgetting the name of it. But they'll have the new programming software in there. I would imagine Toyota's going to use that as well, because Lexus spent a lot of money, and they work together. I mean, same company. It's pretty fast. That one, I think you could pair a couple different phones, and you can stream music easily. Had Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, S-Star standard, wireless features, wireless standard CarPlay and Android Auto. So I think you're going to see a lot of that happening throughout. Oh, they use Amazon as well. Sorry, kind of switching gears here on me a little bit. I wasn't quite prepared to talk about that. But again, just kind of look around the Toyota lineup. I think you'll see a lot of similarities with that, with what they're doing elsewhere, and you'll see a lot of safety features with this as doing elsewhere. I'm going to be curious what they do with the door handles. So, like, you know, on the on this, you can see those door handles are kind of solid. Well, the Lexus ones, if you remember the video, they didn't actually open. You just pressed a button behind it and actually opened. Inside, you pressed a button in and the door opened. I would think with the truck they would do normal door handles, but again, once they kind of start doing it down this technology road, they kind of use these same parts of the lineup because they're sharing the platform. That's what the F1 architectural platform is going to be sharing with, and that's what they keep sharing, all these different ideas. If they get a good idea and they start using it throughout the lineup. So I'll be curious to see what happens with all this kind of stuff. But that's what we have today. I'm just going to cut to the chase here. That's what I got. So far we have the iForce Max, which we think is the hybrid version of the 3.5 liter V6. We know that with the blue lettering, and we have the orange looms in the back, which is typically for hybrids. Sometimes they just some paint coloring, but typically that's for hybrids. If you zoom out of that photo a little bit, we have the exterior look of the TRD Pro, and we have the new interior we can see that how the dash is going to look. That screen's going to sit up, so it's going to have a bigger screen. But we can kind of look at other models, like I said. And I'm thinking like Highlander, the way that it's shaped would probably be similar to what this can look like. Maybe RAV4. But the other thing to keep in mind too is if you're getting tired of these teasers, well, sorry, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more teasers happening, and it's not going to be out in dealerships till November or till December. It doesn't get built till November, and so you're looking at probably August, September-ish for the reveal. And then kind of first drive media drives October, November, and then on dealership lots on December. So got to sit tight, hang with us. We got more news coming. I'll keep you updated as far as I know information. Check the video out over here. Website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.